Your 4x4 is presented by Carryboy 4x4 Canopies and Accessories, Trek Hardware 4x4 Superstore, the Iveco Daily 4x4, Nava Australia, Cooper Tyres, Piranha Off-Road Products and ARB 4x4 Accessories.
It's not going to work.
What do you mean it's not going to work?
It's just not going to work, Simon.
But Danny, it's such an incredible area. Sunset Country, the big desert, the little desert. There is so much to see and do. Plenty of action, a stack of mud and plenty of sand. It's going to be an epic journey.
Sand? We're going to have plenty of sand when we visit Tassie later in the year. Bog holes and mud? Nobody but you wants to drive the bog holes anymore. What about the Vic High Country?
The Vic High Country again?
Yes, the Vic High Country again. I've been working on a new trip, calling it the Summit to Sea, starting as high as we can up in the mountains, doing some awesome tracks, some pristine rivers and great camping, ending up at the beach near Lake's entrance.
I'd still like to do the mud, but that does sound interesting. Now, if you've started the planning, I think you better finish it.
Just like normal, huh? I guess I better make some phone calls.
Thanks, Danny. That sounds fantastic. I'll come back to you fairly shortly and I'll let you know who's coming on the trip. All right, all the best, mate. Thank you. Cheers. Hi, Mark.
Good, mate. How are you?
I just got off the phone with Danny. They're just planning their next Your 4x4 trips, and basically we can do the Victorian High Country and the northeast region of Tasmania. What would you prefer?
Well, while I haven't done Tasmania, I do love the Victorian High Country, and if I can grab the keys for the 79 single cab, I reckon that'd be right up my alley. We'll go out there, see if we can find some tough tracks and put that thing through its paces.
Awesome. From what I understand, northeast Tasmania is going to be cheese, wine, fresh seafood, and a bit of fishing in there as well, so that sounds right up my alley.
Sounds like a plan. So if you're happy with that, I might just go grab the keys to the 79. I believe they're just in the final touches of putting the new links on it, so we'll check that that's all working and should be good to go.
Sounds like we've got a couple of great trips coming up, Mark.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Matt, and I'll catch you later.
Cheers, buddy.
All right, Al, we've got this Summit to Sea trip coming up.
Yep.
Which car this time?
Well, look, obviously I'd like to take one of the Susie's. I mean, look at that magnificent little Jiminy there.
It's too little.
All right, what about a slightly bigger Suzuki? It's got a radio, it's got the winch.
15-litre fridge.
Yeah, that is a little bit on the small side. Okay, we can't take Frankenzook because it's not registered. We're running out of options here. What about the 80 then?
The 80, the trip car, she's ready to go.
Well, I guess it's got the fridge, it's got the kitchen.
We've got the kitchen, and I can take all my shoes.
It's ready to rock and roll. It's a no-brainer. We'll take that.
Tell you what, Daryl, for this trip, we'll flip for it. Heads, I get to ditch the office for a week. Tails, you can go. Looks like I'm going. Sorry, mate. Everything you need? Mate, I have everything I need right here for the week. Is that all you got? That's all I need.
Hey, Danny, how you going? Oh, yeah, I'll help with the food. How many people? 23? Oh, yeah, all right, you better bring some big fridges. Yeah, and that big truck, yeah, bring that. All right, Danny, I'll have a look and see which car I'm gonna take. Oh, there's no room in this. How am I gonna fit all the fridges in here? No way, not enough.
Hey Danny, it's Darren here from Iveco. Mate, I'm just here with the Iveco Daily 4x4 and she's just come back from a bit of a play in the mud in the forest, but she's all ready to go on the trip. But unfortunately, I can't get one of my guys to come on the trip. I know Simon's not going to be too happy with this, but I actually want to give the keys to somebody I know can actually trust and look after the vehicle to bring it back in one piece.
Hey mate, if you've got all this space, why are you loading it up on the right-hand side?
If going on these trips has taught me one thing, is that Simon and Danny need all the room they can get in the canopy. So I suppose better go prepared. First night of the trip, we stayed at this beautiful mountain view motel. Gave us some magnificent views of the mountains, but also we had a fantastic breakfast.
Here we are. We're in the Victorian High Country. I'd probably rather be doing the border track and hitting all of those mud holes. But let's see what sort of trip Danny's come up with. I hope he's done his planning.
Well, that's it. The Iveco's all packed. Here we are at Corryong, ready to start our high country adventure. I've got a fantastic trip planned for us for the next week and a half. And look what I've got, the keys to the Iveco, and he's not getting them for the next whole week. I'm gonna chuck him in the passenger seat.
We've got all of our spares, a stack of equipment and plenty of food packed up neatly in the Carryboy vehicle. Let's go and see how Danny's going. Looking good, Danny. Ready to hit the tracks? Oh, and thank you very much for bringing up my ride.
What do you mean your ride? You want these things, do you? You're not getting them this trip.
Seriously?
This is my ride. I've got something for you, even better. The passenger seat.
No way.
Yep, way. Let's go and see where you're sitting.
First stop, Danny, is this where we hit the mud?
No, Simon, we're in the Man from Snowy River Museum. It'll be pretty exciting, I think. We couldn't come to this area and not drop in. I've organised John and Stuart to give us a guided tour, so let's go and introduce ourselves.
Step along as well. Yes.
Thank you.
Right, well, welcome to the Man from Snowy River Museum. I'm John Whitehead, the president. My family came here in 1848, so my grandkids will be called locals, I think. Yeah. We start off here with all we have on Jack Riley, who we claim's the Man from Snowy River. Jack Riley was an outstation manager at Grogan for Mr. Pearce. The station would have owned everything really out there. All we have is his saddlebag, watch and quart pot.
Here we are, guys, at the Corryong Man from Snowy River Museum. Museum to basically Jack Riley. Now, the interesting thing about this place is there's a little bit about Jack Riley, a bit about the Man from Snowy River, but there's a huge amount of history about Corryong. We've just been wandering around here about the First and Second World War. Over in the other rooms, we've got stuff from the local hospital. There's dentist chairs and beds and things which show just how much medicine's changed. That is scary stuff. It's like almost like a torture room, but it's cool. What I love, Jake, the dentist chair. Look, it looks like a piece of art. And all driven by the belts to the little drill down the end there. Yeah, right. Yeah. Amazing, isn't it? That is an X-ray machine.
Okay, we can move on if you like to what I think is our most prized exhibit. This rug was knitted by James Orgel Simpson when he was a prisoner of war in Stalag 4B in Germany in 1945. Now that would be done from memory because the Germans wouldn't have given him a map, and you notice the coats of arms of each state knitted into it. Mountain ranges are a different stitch. Lake Aire's full of water, even so he had a bit of foresight. And there's a little red dot there for Corryong, where he came from.
It's got everything. The stuff in here is amazing. The stuff that they've been able to get their hands on and spread around, from the war memorabilia to just the locals, to there's a dentist chair, there's hospital bits and pieces in here as well. So it's been, for the first port of call, first stop for this trip, that has been a huge tick. Fantastic. So if it keeps going like this, it's going to be another epic York 4x4 trip.
The place has been here for a lot of years, and it was originally an old building that's been converted to the museum. And the wonderful thing about it is people have brought stuff out of their homes and their own private collections. So much history, and we're really lucky. We've got a guide here. He's the original president of the place. He knows about everything. Talk about talk. He knows the inside outs of a duck's guts. He's brilliant. So lots more to look at, but great place to come and visit. No use by date on that one, guys.
We left Corryong after checking out the Man from Snowy River Museum. Hit the tracks, it was time to start our long adventure through the high country.
Well, it's been a fantastic morning. Stopped just down the bottom here of Gentle Annie track, just south of Corryong, I guess, and it was a really good opportunity for us to just pull over, let our tyre pressures down, and then first opportunity to really engage in full load.
Jeff, we're just about to lead into Gentle Annie. It looks like it's a steep track, a little bit undulating, should be fun, but it's time to let the tyres down. What do you advise for pressure?
In this area we're going to be doing probably 40 kilometres an hour at the most. Considering the weight of the vehicle, I'd say probably around about the 20 to 22 PSI. We're going to go 20 on this one because we have got extra weight on the vehicle.
Now, when you're talking about tyre pressure, it's not about making the tyre wider, it's about making it longer.
That's correct. It's extending the footprint of the tyre, a little bit like a dozer track, so you've actually got more footprint on the road, gives you better traction. As soon as you get back up to speed or on the blacktop, you must bring those tyre pressures back up.
Tyre pressure does depend on your vehicle, the tyres you're running and your driving style, so make sure you play around to get the right pressure for the terrain you're going to be tackling. Well, we're here, ready to take on Gentle Annie. We're only 10 minutes out of Corryong. Let's get the vehicles into low range and hit those trails. Certainly a straightforward track. Would be a different case at night time and in pouring rain, but a vehicle like this just eats it up.
Torque on tap, it's amazing. It's awesome, and this is only the first low range available.
And the thing I've noticed with this on steep, undulating, some serious off-road tracks is how stable and capable the vehicle is.
It's pretty surprising, even on the highway as well. At decent cruising speed, it feels like driving the 80.
It's a pretty fuel-efficient 3-litre turbo diesel. It is a small motor, but I don't mind it.
Certainly turns a lot of heads.
What sort of things can we expect for this weekend?
I guess one of the beauties about the high country, I mean, I've done bits and pieces of it, but there's just so many tracks that I reckon you'd almost need a life devoted to full driving
just to get around them all.
Before you'd get around them all.
Right. So the tracks range anything from an easy Sunday drive to as extreme as you'd want to go?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's really quite diverse. I guess Gentle Annie by name, Gentle Annie by nature. It was a really nice, just undulating track for the way up here, just to get us all warmed up, and really looking forward to some harder tracks along the way.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting a bit hungry.
I'm starving, Simon, and look, at the GPS, we're near the top of Gentle Annie. That's probably a good place to stop, 1,100 metres high. What do you reckon?
Well, best of all, we've got our chef on board, Mike from Trek Hardware. I'm really looking forward to seeing what our first meal is.
I wonder what's on the menu.
All right, gents, all ready to head off?
We're going to think about a fire tonight, Simon.
Probably a good thing.
Yes.
0 degrees forecast tonight, so I think we need a fire.
Yep.
Oh yeah, reasonable fire. We better be having a fire.
Yes.
I didn't bring that big bad boy not to be having a fire tonight.
All right, Al, what's the plan to get some firewood?
Well, we have the perfect firewood collecting vehicle here, the Iveco. We've brought it along again, specifically for that purpose, I hope. And we're going to find some dry stuff, because near camps, nearly it's always been denuded of wood.
Yeah, absolutely.
So very easy, just look out for some bits on the side of the track.
Yep.
Park up on the side of the track.
Perfect.
Chop some bits up, throw them in the back of this thing.
Yep.
We'll have a fire tonight.
We'll get
We'll be
into it.
warm.
Perfect.
Convoy's pulled up and once again in the perfect spot. I think we've found a good supply of firewood. Let's get those chainsaws out, eh?
Click on it, Alan.
After lunch, we knew we needed some firewood for camping tonight. So Jake and Alan took out their chainsaws and their protective gear, and it was time to start cutting up some logs. Everyone else helped out to chuck it in the big Iveco. I think we've got enough wood for the whole week.
This is officially your first trip with your 4x4.
Yeah, officially first trip of your 4x4.
How's the scenery out here? I mean, the drive-in last night, you wouldn't have seen much of it, but today, it's just stunning country.
Oh, it's just, and it's for this time of year, you know, we're only at the start of November, but normally we've had a few hot days. You'd expect it to be dried up, but it's very green still through here. You really could be any place in the world, really. It's that green and that picturesque. So we're heading up to a couple of huts this afternoon.
Yeah, there's a couple of huts on the way. I think one in particular we're going to have time to get to is quite close to our campsite. The huts through these regions are just an iconic part of Victoria's history, but they also spread all the way through up into New South Wales. And it's interesting to see the different style and quality of the huts, the way they've been restored and looked after from Victoria through to New South Wales. So coming into these areas, doing your research, finding out where the huts are and visiting them, it's well worth it. It's a big part of our history and heritage.
As the day drew to an end, the crew checked out the historic Wheelers Hut, taking photos and admiring the handiwork before deciding to set up camp near the river. It had been a long day and we were looking forward to kicking back by the fire as Mike from Trek Hardware cooked up a massive spit roast for the whole team.
What a fantastic end to the day. A beautiful campsite, a beautiful fire, spit roast cooking. It's also probably a good time to welcome the newest member of our group, Mike from Trek Hardware.
Yes.
I tell you what, he's paying his way with a spit roast on for all of us tonight. Thank you, Mike.
I'm sure that's why I'm here. I've been dedicated chef.